Assalamu alaikum viewers, and welcome once again in Spotlight with me, your host Zunira Malik. Viewers, a great filmmaker has a tremendous sense of drive and ambition. That's what my guest today epitomizes in every manner. He has proven that if you are talented enough to produce quality work, regardless of where you are, you can still compete with the best in the world. With his incredibly powerful movie 100 Steps, known as Saw Kadam, he has managed to break through his way by scooping up a nomination for the Best Film in Narrative category for the 43rd Student Academy Awards. A graduate from Northwestern University, Qatar, this young Pakistani lad is doing wonders with his passion for filmmaking. So I proudly present to you Mr. Shahnawaz Zali. So hello Shahnawaz, how are you doing today? Welcome to the show first of all.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So how does the passion started actually? Mashallah, you are doing wonders. You have created your name in film industry at such young age. So how does the passion actually started?
It goes back like 10 years ago. I was 13 years old. I was casted in a Hollywood production that was being filmed in Lahore, Pakistan. And my late aunt, who passed away 2 years ago, she was the one who casted me in this film. And I was playing the main character's childhood role. And I was like a brief, I think maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes or like 1 minute in between. That was my role in the film. But that was the first time I was in front of the camera. And
so you started as an actor, it means.
Yes, yes.
Not as a director.
You can say that, yeah.
Okay.
So that acting in that small role made me realize that, okay, what happens behind the camera? I mean, I was quite nervous at that time. It was like I was 13. But that started with the curiosity of like what happens behind the camera, because at that time our film industry was not up to, like it wasn't up in the stars.
Of course,
it was before I was born, and there was a golden era of the cinema in Pakistan, but during the teenage life that I was living, it wasn't as great as it is now. So that made me curious about what happens behind the camera. So I remember that was my first time, kind of like shaking hands with the camera, getting to know the gist of it. And then I remember after the age of 13, I used to have those small digital cameras which are like 1.3 megapixel, like 5 megapixel cameras at that time. So I used to have one of those, and I used to pull in all my cousins, my parents, my aunt, uncle, my family members, and tell them to make a movie at home. So I remember I made a first ever film that I've made was when I was 14. And that was like a 30-minute film with all my cousins. I will never show it to anyone. I don't think I even have it anymore. But that was like a 30-minute film that I made. But that's how the passion started again and again. That made me realize that this is such a creative creative field where the storytelling is a must.
Yeah.
And everywhere around you, like wherever you go, in the morning, at night, in the afternoon, in the evening, you will find stories from everything you see, from everything you observe. And that was the start of me trying to get into this film industry, or trying to visualize that film is the thing that I want to do. And that's how it started. But now that I think about it, it was really like good storytelling in terms of a child's perspective, like how we believe of ourselves as heroes. Like think about it, when we were children, I used to look in the mirror and think of myself, I'm a Spider-Man or Superman or Batman. That's how like it all started. Like if we can visualize ourselves as that heroes, why don't we put them up in front of a camera? Why don't we act it all out? Because it's a world of fantasy, right? That's how it started from over there.
So were you addicted to movies after that? Like you watched every single movie after that? Or?
I have like if you talk to my mom, she would tell you that before exam, and she's a teacher. My mom has been a teacher for the past 20 years. Unfortunately, I wasn't in her class because I was known as one of the most notorious kids in my high school, which is Edison College. So she never got to teach me before I got into Edison. But before any exam, I used to watch at least 2 films.
Okay.
Even though Before exam, like not on the day before, but just a day. Not on the day, but a day before.
Okay.
And you might be surprised that children should be reading books and they're covering their coursework. For me, it was like as if a virtual bell was ringing, like a recess bell, and I used to run to the DVD or VCD, CDs, play a film, and that's it. Like just watch films. I was fascinated with watching films throughout. So I think like that's how it all began. But my parents were very supportive. My brother and my parents were throughout very supportive.
They never went like, oh, come on, your exams are on your way. And
I mean, my mom was, my brother was, my dad was as well. But then again, like, you know, they couldn't stop me because they were like, okay, at least he's doing something.
I'm sure one of your parents must be fascinated the same way as you are. That's why, you know, the kids adopt these things from parents.
Yeah.
So any one of them interested?
My dad
In the same
reads
way.
a lot of books.
Okay.
He watches a lot of documentaries. He's a very creative person. So he was the one who always, till now, he sends me after every 2-3 days, he sends me a new documentary to watch. So it's a great resource at home. It's like a walking, talking library of films.
So
which
they
is like
educated you as well in the
Yes,
same
exactly.
way, we can say.
I grew up watching, like, not a normal child would watch it. I grew up watching Pearl Harbor, Saving Private Ryan,
Oh my God.
kind of
Heavy
films.
movies, yeah.
Exactly, because my dad used to watch it,
Yeah.
like, and I used to like just pretend I'm sleeping and have one eye open while the film is going on,
So
just
that
so that
they
I
don't
can
let
watch.
you go.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because you know a lot of parents say, okay, this is not for a child to
Yeah.
view, but
Yeah.
you can always get away with that.
That's sweet as well. So you did all your schooling from Pakistan, and then how did Northwestern University happen to you?
So my brother, he graduated from Carnegie Mellon University in Qatar, and he graduated in 2014.
So did he came only for the university
Yes,
here? Okay.
yes. So now he works in Dubai, but he came in Doha in 2010 after he graduated from the same high school in Aegean, and he knew, that's why I got to know about Education City. So he was the one who got me involved in like looking and learning about Education City and campuses over here. So that was the time he was studying business, but I was always interested in the media and arts field, and that's why he told me, like, you know, Northwestern might be a good opportunity for you.
After coming into Northwestern University, what have you decided now?
Right now, at the moment, I am working in Qatar Foundation. Qatar Foundation is one company and one organization that has impacted me so much for the past 4 years that I feel like, you know, that's a very good starting line for me as a graduate. So it's contributing back because I was a recipient of Qatar Foundation's financial aid.
Okay.
So now I'm giving back to the service that I had received, and if they weren't here, I wouldn't be here, because honestly, like, tuition
I was
is also
about to
expensive.
ask you this, that how Qatar has influenced you in your life, because of course
A lot.
right? So because after you joined Northwestern University, and they are the one who've been funding you for your first production, right? Tell us more on that.
So since day one when I got here, I was always amused by the opportunities that there are present in Qatar in specific, and it's good that it's a very diverse program. There's a lot of diversity in Education City, a lot of students from different nationalities, so you get to learn every single day. That was number one. Second is the opportunities that you wouldn't normally find anywhere else in the world. So, for example, your interest-free student loans. Qatar Foundation has a very generous financial aid program which offers students from different nationalities, different countries to come to Qatar and study. And they give you world-class education without putting pressure on you in terms of student loan, because most of the time what happens is when a student finishes their college, all of a sudden you're like, okay, wow, I just graduated with college with a massive student loan, and now it's going to build up if I don't give it back. But Qatar Foundation doesn't do that. They know your potential, they want to help you, and throughout they want to make sure you succeed at what you're doing. So that's one of the reasons what attracted me the most towards even working for them later on, because if this organization stands for impact, then you can be a figure that can help them create that impact.
Definitely, and I think credit goes to Qatar for that, because I think nowhere else things are being done like this, the way Qatar Foundation is helping students.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, Zali, coming back to your movie, Saw Qadam. Tell me, why did you actually opted for this certain topic, terrorism, and that also in Pakistan, whereas Pakistan has always been targeted and framed for this?
Yeah, it's a controversial topic. Everyone has seen, everyone agrees to it as well. But my perspective is that change has to come within. So rather than letting the external, powers, countries, agencies deal with this issue, why don't we deal with it ourselves? Because I believe for a country to progress, for a nation to progress, we must acknowledge that there's a problem.
Yeah.
Once we do acknowledge that there's a problem, then only we can find solutions for it by talking about it.
Yeah.
So rather than just letting it be in our country, floating about it, why don't we talk about it and find solutions for it? And solutions can be in the form of anything. I don't believe that one film can change the world.
Of course.
I mean,
not.
that's the goal of every filmmaker, every like activist, or every person who wants to contribute to the world. But change doesn't happen overnight, right?
Yeah.
But the more we talk about it, the more it happens. And yes, I do agree for the sensitivity of the topic, but the film, if you see it, it's not what it seems to be. It's not a film. It's not a typical film blaming Pakistan for suicide bombing and terrorism. It actually is like don't judge a book by its cover. So once you go through the film, it reels you in.
Okay.
It leaves those small dots for you to like catch up to it, and then you realize, wow.
So means the solution is itself in the movie.
You realize it's
Okay.
because the thing is, if you give solutions in your film, then you become like a preacher. I don't want to preach.
Okay.
I want to leave the audience with a thought. I want a thought-provoking film that can make a difference for people to, after they watch the film, they go back and they research, they talk about it, and then they find solutions for how well you can do it. Every time you go watch a film in a cinema, most people, there are different types of responses that you receive. After you watch a film, you go back and you start.
Not everyone is happy.
Exactly, not everyone's happy. You can't please anyone in
Yes,
life. That is
of
like
course.
not everyone in life.
Yeah.
But there are two type of things that happen. It's either you leave the cinema or wherever you're watching the film, either you're talking about, oh wow, it was a good film, that's it, khalas, you're done. Or you say, oh, it was a good film or a bad film, whatever, but you keep on talking about it, what happened. Films like Inception. You
Yeah.
watch the film and then you go back, you
Beautiful.
talk to your friends and you talk about like, was it real? Was it not real? So these kind of topics is what I'm interested in, and this was taking this, the topic of the film, and trying to create a magician's story, like a magical story where you don't know where it's going as. You can think it's a typical ending, but it's really not. And once you see it, you'll realize that it's not your average film about this topic, because the change comes in within.
With it,
And to
definitely.
remove the stereotypical role, you have to talk about these films, regardless of their sensitivity, because that's, and it has happened in the past. I'm really happy to say for the fact that one of the mentors that I have, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, she actually has made a difference, whether people agree with her or disagree with her. Had she not made Saving Face, had she not made The Girl in the River, would we have a bill passed against honor killing against women?
No.
I'm not saying that technically she's the person who created that.
But at least she made an impact.
Exactly.
To her
Each and
video.
every effort that she and her team has made, each and every effort every person in Pakistan has made through social media, through protests, through walk-ins, through campaigns against women brutality, honor killings, they've contributed to it. And that again reshapes your society and creates this change. The power of media is crazy at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Pakistani media brainwashes you. I'm just saying the fact that, like, look over the news again and again and again. Like, in one day you'll find the repeated news coming again and again and again, telling you like it's causing fear. It's causing fear to an extent where you're just like, you're always scared about going out. That shouldn't be. Pakistan is a beautiful place. It has so much potential, but why are we known by this topic?
So was it disturbing for you?
Yes, it was. It's because, you know, we're a wonderful nation, we have talented people everywhere, and we shouldn't be known about this topic. So like, it was disturbing in a way because it did impact us a lot. It impacted our image in the world. Wherever we go, we are Pakistanis, we love our nation, we love each other, but at the same time we're not looked as, like, sometimes we aren't looked upon as normal people.
Yeah.
And there is an image that, you know, we need to understand that it is a stereotypical image that has been placed over our heads. So how do we get rid of that? Not externally. We can't go out and tell people that, okay, don't call us terrorists, don't say this to us, don't say that to us. We need to figure it out internally. So making films like these, I'm not saying that we should make films on this topic throughout the year, there shouldn't be 100 films on this topic, but anything that starts a dialogue.
Yeah.
It could be in a form of a picture, it could be in a form of article, it could be in a form of a film. Anything that is thought-provoking, that makes people talk about certain things internally, is something that we need to do.
Very well said. Coming back to the production that you did, your movie, how challenging was 100 Steps for you?
It was challenging because of the nature of the topic. So, and people...
Tell me from the beginning, like when you discussed the idea with your the people who supported you for this. So, what was the reaction and what kind of challenges did you face throughout?
So there were basically three people. Like we were
Would you like to mention their names?
Yeah, sure, like those are the people who've contributed a lot to this film, and I think they are the people behind it. So definitely. So it was myself, and then it was Yazan Abugeda, who is my classmate, and he's the producer of 100 Steps, and James Copplestone Farmer, who is also my best friend. He was the one who was always throughout with me in this film, and he contributed the idea to the scripting as well as he was the cinematographer of the film as well. So all the beautiful images and the videography that you see, credit goes to him for that.
Where did you film them?
This was all filmed in Qatar, by the way. Like everyone comes.
I'm sure nobody knows about it, that this has been filmed here.
Yeah, because that's our production designers who were like amazing, because they were like, we want to recreate Pakistan, so we had reference images and stuff from like Pakistan. We tried to recreate Doha and try to create our own mini Pakistan in this region.
Yeah.
So those three.
So where
people,
did the characters came from?
They're actually a mix,
the old
mix
guy
between Pakistanis and Indians.
Okay.
You can say anything, and Pakistani Indian, and you can even say this is like Aman Ki Asha, or like the peace project or something, where like we're coming.
See what's
together.
going on right now between India and Pakistan, and just look at people like you.
Pakistani Indians, they love each other.
They love each other, definitely.
There shouldn't be anything going against them.
It's only the political people who are involved. Otherwise,
political things
I think
happen.
Nations love each other.
Yeah, like so far what I've known,
Okay,
my
so the
best
actor
friends
is from
all
India?
Indians. Yes,
the
he's
guy,
from
the
India.
young boy?
The young boy is Pakistani.
Okay.
The main Maulana character is Indian.
He's Indian.
And the other protagonist is also Indian.
Where did you got these people from?
There's a film community over here as well.
Okay.
It's just that you have to go and find them, because sometimes it's very hard, because now Qatar is developing its art and film field, which is going to be, inshallah, I hope so, amazing. So it's developing, and you can find actors who can actually, who are interested in this. But the main logistical, problems that we encountered and the struggles were locations, because how do we find locations and getting permits? So getting permits is always a very hard task, but because Northwestern University in Qatar was with us, they were supporting us throughout, and Qatar Foundation gives its students a lot of opportunities. So when you are QF students, you do get away with certain things, and you do get permits easily, because we're backed up with an
Tell us about it.
Provider opportunities,
because we are facing all these issues.
So maybe
you
should come to partner with the University in Qatar Foundation.
Oh yes,
you
definitely.
Never know.
If there is some scenario like that, definitely we would love to.
Definitely. But it's something like those logistical issues and permits were the only struggles that we have.
In Doha, you find these challenges.
But then again, it was if you know exactly what you're doing, and if your goal is straight, you can achieve anything. So technically, amidst all the problems, we somehow managed to film it.
Did you share the script with them before?
Yeah, actually. I mean, I can't talk about the ending much because I want the viewers to see it.
Where can our viewers see your video?
So right now, at this point, I'm not releasing the film. It's because it's in film festival rounds, but I am trying to find local organizations, charity organizations that I can pair up with, because I eventually want this film to be supported by a local charity organization where people can watch this film for if I talk about 100 rupees or 500 rupees, which is roughly like $5 or something, even that amount, 500 rupees can contribute a lot. So I want to put it on Vimeo on certain sites and remove myself as a middleman and give this to the local organization. So anyone who contributes to watch the film online, the money will straight away go for education in Pakistan. So this local organization, so the film, local organization is the back end. Viewers pay. They unlock the film, they watch the film, the money is collected and is gone to impact the education in Pakistan. Because that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to contribute, and that's why I make films.
And which organization is going to get that?
Any organization that can work.
You have it linked with
I typically haven't started scouting for it because I'm still in the film festival circuit, and film festivals do not want films to be public. So that is, but in the coming year, I hope I can try to get in touch with certain organizations who would love to show this film and support for education. That's one of the biggest organizations. Even my mom has an NGO that it's female women education for young girls, and it's called A New Beginning. So hopefully maybe that or other organizations pairing up, because ultimately we all as citizens of Pakistan want to help our government, want to help our people to make Pakistan as beautiful and as amazing as it is, and trying to show the world that that's not the only topic we should be talked about.
What a beautiful thought, mashallah.
Hopefully,
wish you all the best with this.
Let's pray for it and let's hope
let's we all get together and unite for this cause.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. I'm sure everybody listening to you right now, we should all get united where
Inshallah.
these
And
kind of
that's
things
the goal,
comes.
because we don't realize how much power we have. We somehow control the image of Pakistan, and wherever we go, we need to know that we are citizens of Pakistan. At that
We
point.
represent our country.
We represent
definitely.
Pakistan everywhere we go.
Definitely. Okay, getting nominated right after your first production, straight away into Student Academy Awards. I'm sure for every filmmaker this is a dream.
It was my dream as well.
And
like,
really, okay. So did you ever thought of it that this would happen in real?
Honestly, did not. I was always talking to my mom, because my mom, my dad and my brother are like the three, pillars that I always, go to for support, because these three people have played a huge role in my life. And I remember 2 years ago, I went with James Coppleton Farm, was my best friend as well, he's the cinematographer of the film. I went with him to Los Angeles.
Okay.
And while we were walking on that Hollywood Walk of Fame, I remember I took my phone out and I texted my mom and I said, "Mom, one day, inshallah, I will be walking over here with you.
With you, yeah. Wow.
And I will be taking you to the red carpet." And she replied, "Inshallah, very soon." Never did I ever think that in 2 years' time that I would be very close to getting one. And I never thought about the nomination itself. I never thought that I would be good enough.
How did you came to know that your movie has been selected for this?
I had actually applied for it.
Okay.
I sent my film in for the Student Academy Awards, and I got notified in July, the 1st of July, that I had reached the semi-finals.
Okay.
So there were 1,800 to 2,000 films qualified for the Academy Awards. So there's a preliminary round where people from films from all over the world get submitted. Certain films make the cut because of their qualification, because of the duration, the time, the university they're from, and the certain number of university films that get through. It's broken down into different groups. So from 1,800, 79 films made it to semi-finals. And that itself was an achievement.
And within those 75 films,
79 films was one of my films as well. And I was supposed to find out on 1st August. And it's funny because it was at night, because I was in Pakistan, and I got the notification that congratulations, your film has been nominated now. It's one of the finalists for a Student Academy Award. So at that time I was like, I've always talked about an Oscar, and here I am, let alone be a student Oscar at this point, but it's something. And I think that reaction, I messaged my brother, and he was in Dubai. I messaged him, went downstairs to my parents' room, hugged my mom and dad and said, "Mom, this is happening.
I made it, Mom."
Yeah, Mom, this is happening.
I'm sure Qatar is lucky for you, you can say that.
Yeah, and it's played a big role, and had it not
Northwestern
given
University
the
has
opportunity.
played a great role in this.
So Northwestern, Qatar Foundation, the whole country itself, my friends, my family, it's a university film at the end of the day. All the people in the university, the students are amazing at what they do, and they've contributed to it. And what happened was, I just told my mom and dad and I slept. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to relax.
But I'm sure your parents wouldn't have slept that night.
I don't think they did that much.
But
the next morning, thank God I got that sleep, because the next morning Shahnawaz Zali had tweeted about it.
Oh my God.
And that's when nothing was private anymore. So I had to go onto Facebook, clean it up, clean out Twitter, because I'd never used Twitter before, and she tagged me on Twitter. So all the followers were happening, everyone was calling me, and I was had a lot of friend requests and emails and interview requests. They were already honestly within minutes there was the first article coming out. So that was kind of managing all that, getting phone calls was that 3-4
and
days.
Digesting all that in a single day. Oh my God.
Exactly. I was overwhelmed, and I still am sometimes. Even if I walk in, someone says you're a celebrity, I'm like, please don't say that. It's scary.
Oh come on. Sometimes you need to live it to the moment.
Sometimes yes, but I don't want to be known as the person who's oh, celebrities have this attitude and stuff like that, because I believe be modest, be humble.
Definitely.
Because you're always learning.
Yeah.
So every single day is an adventure for you to learn something. So that's where I go on. So I'm still an average Pakistani is trying to make it big in the world and in Pakistan as well. So
but I'm sure after Sharmeen, you're the second Pakistani making towards Oscar.
I think there have been more. I'm not sure of, but the more visible one so far in the highlight is Sharmeen. She's She's an
Yeah.
Oscar winner, I mean, twice.
Of course, of
So,
course.
inshallah, following her in her footsteps.
And then
would have
getting
been
a
amazing.
tweet from her,
It's
getting
an amazing thing.
appreciation from a person like her. Oh my God.
It's a lot.
It's a big
really
achievement for you.
meaningful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big achievement. So tell me, Zali, if the beginning is this, your first production, getting directly into the Academy Awards, I mean, where the extremity is afterwards? What's the limits after this?
I think in the world
huge
of media,
pressure on you now.
Oh, it is.
Huge pressure.
It is.
Yeah.
And I was approached by companies as well for feature films. I just don't want to make feature films yet because I want to be educated in this field. I want to do my masters, and I plan on doing a masters in a year or two. Then I want to come back and I want to work in the film industry to impact it, because I feel like I have so much to learn yet. Because I've specialized in, not specialized, but like have worked a lot in short films. I want to learn the dynamics of filmmaking in general. I want to become this figure which is so solid in all the surroundings. So when I make a Pakistani film, I want it to reach the skies. Like so when they say sky is the limit, I want to take it to the stars.
Wow,
per se.
wow.
So like I want to
How
make it that
ambitious.
good, so that people would be like, wow, Pakistani film industry, as it's already revived. It's mashallah, it's going amazing at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
And I want to take it more.
It's a new regeneration of our industry
Exactly.
again.
And expect more things from Pakistan. And
Yeah.
hopefully, inshallah, I can be.
So any
a player.
iconic directors that you would love to work with, or
Shoaib Mansoor.
Shoaib Mansoor, okay.
So I've been a fan of his films, and
Oh,
that's one of the
everybody,
reasons as well.
Actually, everyone.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons as well that got me thinking. Khuda Ke Liye was like the
beautiful.
film that I think made a break in this whole film, where it was like it was making it so big that
Amazing
I watched
movie.
it 5 times in the cinema per se, like 5 times.
Well, that was a controversial too.
That was controversial, but look what it achieved something.
Yeah,
People
it
talked
is.
about it. People made a difference.
But beautiful cinematography and direction. It was amazing. Even the actors cast was amazing. We, in fact, here we loved the screen. First time it was screened here with few of the cinemas, and every Pakistani here went to watch it.
Hopefully,
only
in
for
the
the
next,
sake of
hopefully in the
Shoaib
next
Mansoor.
5 years, I'll come back to Qatar, and I would want that my films to be screened over here.
Wow,
as well.
definitely, I'm
Because
sure.
I
Qatar
am
would
like I
welcome
am a
you.
product of Pakistan, thoroughly 100%. But I'm also like
You're making
development-
Qatar also proud,
Development has
yeah.
been Qatar, and I owe that to Qatar as well. And I would love for the film industry to flourish over here as well.
So Zali, tell me about your future goals now. Would you be producing more of the same psychological thrillers or anything? You're open to everything.
My goal is to make like thought-provoking films, not necessarily issue-based, but more of like a thought-provoking films, like Inception, Interstellar type of which makes you think, something that like you can sit on the screen and be like, wow, at the end of the day. So psychological thrillers is, I think, the best way to explain it,
Yeah.
because that's really what I want to do, and I want like true stories coming out from Pakistan, which is psychologically amazing.
Yeah.
Like stories from Pakistan itself, true stories.
So you'll be working mostly on the reality-based kind of
Yeah, because
movies.
Pakistan has a lot of stories. Like
Yeah,
whenever you go, each and every street
Has
and
a
building
story,
has a story, and I want to capture those stories and bring them to life.
And that will require a lot of hard work as well. And you're ready to do it.
Nothing is easy in life.
Yeah,
So far,
nothing
so
is.
good. Inshallah, hopefully more.
So tell me, like making it to Oscars now, for a filmmaker, what does it take to be a better filmmaker
I
or
think.
better producer, you can say?
I think for me, in my opinion, it's about opening your eyes to your surrounding. Not necessarily behind the camera or in the camera, you behind the outside of that camera realm. So everywhere you go, every street that you walk, every person that you meet has a story. And for you to become a better filmmaker, you need to see these stories as they're happening. A person who's walking on the street with a stick has a story. A person with a scar on his face has a story. So looking at those things around you is inspiration everywhere. And that's how you can become a better filmmaker, because the more you realize things around you,
Yeah.
the more it's going to turn out to be.
And having a very keen observation.
Observational skills,
Yeah.
number one to become a good filmmaker, in my opinion at least.
So tell me about your observations about Doha.
I think
What do you think of this country, and where do you see this country in next coming years?
I think it has a lot of potential. I think it is booming, yet some people don't like that as well. Some people are against it, but I'm all for it, because I feel like the people over here are very hardworking. Yes, there are stereotypes everywhere, such stereotypes where people say that okay, Qataris aren't hardworking. I've seen so many Qataris in my life who are really hardworking than anyone else. So that is not true. So my observation is like everyone is hardworking. You just don't know some of those people that you
haven't come across.
You haven't come across those people. So, but Doha has a lot of creative people who are working hard towards expats as well as locals are contributing and coming together. That's the united feel, the unity aspect of it, which is going to make this country as beautiful as it is, and it will make it more better.
And how about the film industry of Doha? Where do you see the growing?
Currently, I don't think the film industry is at its peak. It's not even like, I don't think it's even started yet.
But DFI and several
I mean,
different
Doha Film
festivals are
Institute is trying, and I think it should make more impact somewhere or another.
Have you watched any of the local students' videos, films here?
Yes, local students are talented. They're very talented. Specifically Northwestern students, you go there and you see their films, you will be blown away. Like, I would love for you to come to Northwestern and see the films and see like,
I know few of them, like Amal Al-Mufta.
Amazing.
I was really impressed by her
She's
film.
amazing, and
How
you
she portrayed a girl.
will see her films coming out as amazing as they are.
I really loved her production.
So yeah, like DFI
She's a
just needs to incorporate more more locals and more expats throughout. Like they have to, if they go with the model of coalitions between the two, and like yes, they do give grants, but they're like only for Qataris, which I do understand from their end as well that they should. But then again, if they open it up, I think that can make a difference in terms of creating more challenging approach to the film industry, which will create more people interested, and it's going to be more challenging for people to do it, but yet the interest is going to go up. So I feel that's the approach they should have, in my opinion at least.
Okay. Tell me about now your favorite movies that you adore them and you can watch them again and again any time of your life.
Interstellar and any Christopher Nolan films.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan has been my inspiration in terms of film directing and cinematography. Hans Zimmer, the sound designer, is amazing. So these are the films that make you think. So once you leave the cinema watching Interstellar and Inception, you start pondering over the thoughts of like, is everything around you, is it real? It's also based on observation and relatability to show the fact that everything around you is so different than what you think it is. So films that make you think are the films that I love watching. A Beautiful Mind, Fight Club, Shutter Island, Inception, Interstellar. These are the films that I love watching, and I will watch it again and again and again.
Okay, your favorite actor or actress?
That's a tough one because I have so many. But I think if I go with a favorite actor, I think it would be Kevin Spacey.
Okay.
And if it's a Hollywood character, yes.
And what about Bollywood? Are you a Bollywood person or no?
I mean, I don't necessarily like watching Bollywood films. I mean, they're really good at what they do. They have really good stories. But my favorite, again, would be, I think, if a Bollywood film, My Name Is Khan, was amazing. I love that. I love Rajniti as well. That was really good. But in terms of if a Bollywood actor, I think Shah Rukh Khan, as usual, that everyone talks about. But I've grown up
again a very controversial actor.
I've grown up watching his films, so unnecessarily that's one thing I would say. In Pakistani, I think Shan.
Oh yes.
I don't think
he has made a mark in Pakistan, definitely. Yeah. So Zali, before I say goodbye to you, any message or advice for the young filmmakers or those struggling in the same field as yours? Any advice for them?
Believe in yourself, truly, and trust your ideas, because those are the ideas that can potentially, inshallah, change the world. And just one advice, parting words that I always say is, wherever you have an idea, you're going to face a lot of resistance from it. You might find a lot of people who don't like the way you think or your ideas in per se. I would say that if there are 99% of the people against you, against your idea, and there's just 1% who's trying to tell you that this idea can work, go with that 1%. Because honestly, that 1% can change the world, and be that 1%. And that's what I've done. I've felt a lot of resistance throughout, but I feel like those are the ideas, those are the people you want to be with, who can support you and tell you that, encourage you to make those films. And inshallah, believe in yourself and you can make it happen any time of the day, anywhere.
Zali, it was great having you here on my show. Had a wonderful conversation today.
Same, likewise.
Likewise, okay. This is a gift from our sponsors, Perry Gallery, for the guest appearing on my show, which is In Spotlight with Zunira.
Thank you so much, and thank you to the sponsors.
Okay. Any words for WhatsUp Doha?
I think it's wonderful what you guys are doing, and I think you guys should continue. regardless of whatever happens.
Before coming here, you knew about this medium, what we are doing
Yes,
here?
I did research as well. I knew that this existed, and I did my research, and I was really happy to see that people are doing this, and your team is doing this. Specifically, what made me really happy was, I am not saying to anyone in this team, but saying that you're a Pakistani, and it makes a lot for Pakistanis to contribute a lot to the world per se. Whether you're in Pakistan, whether you're in Doha, whether you're anywhere in the world, it means a lot. And anyone else who's part of this team, thank you so much. You guys are making a difference.
Wow, thank you so much. So viewers, this was Shahnawaz Zali with us, a graduate from Northwestern University, Qatar, a cinematographer, a filmmaker, and a successful director so far. Goodbye.